This truth came the day I sat down with a Muslim scholar. We were just talking, nothing serious at first. Then the topic changed. We started talking about interest, about riba, and let me be straight with you. I didn't expect the conversation to shake me the way it did. Because in my world, interest is normal. It's everywhere. Banks, loans, credit cards, mortgages, you name it. We grow up thinking it's just part of life, something you can't escape, something you just deal with. So when he said Islam bans interest completely, I thought, why? Why would a religion take such a strong stance on something the world treats like oxygen? And he smiled. Not the kind of smile that dismisses you, but the kind of smile that tells you he's about to tell you something heavy. He said, Steve, interest is not just math. It's not just business. It's a silent burden on the soul. And right there, I felt that because when he said burden, I started remembering people. People who worked 2 jobs just to stay afloat. People whose paychecks were already gone before they even touched their hands. People living with stress that never lets them breathe. Then he said something I'll never forget. In Islam, money should lift people, not sink them. And that line, it hit me so deep I had to sit with it. Because how many of us, how many families are sinking because interest keeps pulling them down like an anchor tied to their ankles? We think we're borrowing help, but we're borrowing chains. And Islam steps in and says, no, nobody gets to profit from someone else's hardship. And man, if that isn't mercy, I don't know what is. The scholar continued, when a man is drowning, you don't sell him air. And something about that just broke me open. Because that's what interest does. It sells air. It sells survival. It takes advantage at the exact moment someone needs kindness the most. Islam doesn't just reject interest. Islam protects people from what interest becomes. Then he told me a story. A man came asking for a loan. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't irresponsible. He was just trying to stand back up. And instead of helping him, the system pushed him deeper, not because he borrowed too much, but because the interest kept growing faster than his hope. And you know what? It reminded me of so many people I've met. People who wake up already defeated, not because they lack ambition, but because they're fighting a battle they can never win. See, interest doesn't care if you lose your job. Interest doesn't care if your child gets sick. Interest doesn't care if life hits you hard. It just keeps growing, waiting for the day it finally breaks you. But Islam says, if someone falls, lift them. Don't stand on their back. Imagine a world built on that principle. Imagine a world where a loan is an act of compassion, not a lifetime sentence. A world where people give without expecting more in return. A world where financial help feels like a hand, not a rope tightening around your neck. And as he talked, something started to shift in me because I realized this wasn't about money at all. This was about dignity, about justice, about making sure nobody gets trapped in a cycle that steals their joy, their time, their peace. He said, when you remove interest, you remove fear from the future. And I swear that line sat in my heart like a stone because fear is what interest feeds on. Fear of falling behind, fear of not paying in time, fear of losing everything you've worked for. But mercy frees you from that fear. And that's when it clicked for me. Islam bans interest not to limit people, but to free them, to protect the fragile moments of their lives, to protect their families, to protect their sleep, to protect their future. The scholar looked at me and said, Steve, if you want God to bless your wealth, you don't grow it by squeezing someone else's heart. And I had no words because that was truth, pure truth. A system without interest is a system built on love, trust, and fairness. A system where helping someone becomes an investment in humanity, not in profit. And I walked out of that room thinking about every person trapped in debt, thinking about every night they stayed awake, thinking about every sunrise that felt heavier than the night before. And for the first time, I understood why Islam draws that line so boldly. Because sometimes the things we call normal are the exact things destroying people quietly. And I'll tell you something, that day changed me, changed my understanding of money, changed my understanding of mercy, changed my understanding of what it means to lift people instead of loading them down. So if there's anything I want you to take from this, it's this. God doesn't just want you to be successful. God wants you to be right. God wants you to be fair. God wants you to grow in a way that doesn't hurt another soul. And when a religion stands up and says, we will not allow anyone to profit from another person's pain, that's not restriction. That's compassion. That's protection. That's divine wisdom. I walked in that room curious. I walked out humbled. Because sometimes the most powerful truths are the ones that protect the weak. And interest destroys quietly. But mercy uplifts loudly. And that, my friends, is a lesson I will carry for the rest of my life.